Monday Night Raw returned to Madison Square Garden tonight in New York City, and it's been 10 years since WWE has done a Raw in Madison Square Garden. And this was not a great show. It was not a very memorable show. It started off really good, but in terms of it being a really memorable MSG Raw, like we've seen in the past, it's not that. It started off with a big show feel to it, and it quickly faded past the first hour, to be quite honest. But it's better than an average Raw, certainly better than most Raws you'd see. So you start the show with a contract signing, and Stone Cold Steve Austin is our special guest moderator. He comes out, gets a massive pop. He's thrilled to be back. He drinks beers right away. He usually does that after the segment. He starts drinking right away this time. And he says he remembers being in the Garden. He brings up three great memories from being in MSG. He first talks about his Survivor Series 1996 match against Bret Hart, which was a great match. And WWE has done the ending of that match over and over again. I don't know how many times they've copied that ending. You know, the $1 Million Dream, run up the turnbuckles and get the roll-up win. But he then talks about when he gave Vince McMahon the first big stunner, which was a huge moment when he gave Vince the stunner in 97 on Raw in Madison Square Garden. That was the first of many, and definitely an iconic thing. That was when Austin had the bad neck and he gave Vince the stunner. And then he remembers his match with The Undertaker from SummerSlam 1998, the Highway to Hell. I remember that. They would always play AC/DC's Highway to Hell during the build-up to that show. And that he brings up a moment where he kicked Undertaker. Undertaker was going for a back body drop. Undertaker's head went up and it hit Austin in the chin and knocked Austin out cold. And he talks about Earl Hebner. I'm sure Vince didn't like that because Earl's in AEW now. Austin finally brings out Braun Strowman. Braun wanted to shake Austin's hand. He wouldn't. Then he introduces Seth Rollins. Seth comes out. Seth praises Austin, points out they were in New York, and he talks about how he hates getting the what chance, but he's happy now because Austin's in the ring. Austin tells him to sign this contract. Braun thinks Seth's stabbing him in the back. He says he has the utmost respect for Steve, but he's still a rattlesnake. Eventually, Braun signs the contract. It's all set. Then AJ Styles in the club comes out. AJ runs into Austin. He rips him. He talks about how old Austin is. Austin's probably like this because he never really gets ripped on the mic like that. But he's really, he says, it's funny, the fans were calling AJ Styles an asshole. And then Austin points out, he actually says, they're calling you an asshole. So Austin swears on live TV. And then AJ says, you're turning into an asshole in his old age. Austin starts to get pissed off. AJ calls him an old fart. Austin moved the table. Rollins and Strowman attack the club. They throw him out to the ring. Braun destroys Gallows Anderson on the outside. Seth was going for a curb stomp on AJ. AJ reverses. AJ throws Seth out. AJ's taunting him. Then all of a sudden he turns around. Austin gives him a middle finger, stunner. Great segment. Austin gets more drinks more beer. The beer catch is iconic. Fans going crazy. Lays out AJ with the stunner. Got to see Austin back. This was a great opening segment, and it's hard to come down from this. This reminded me of Raw 25 when Austin comes out. He had that great opening segment, then the show fell apart because he started off so high. But definitely an Attitude Era opening style show with Stone Cold Steve Austin returning to the WWE, raising hell, drinking beer, and leaving. Now I think they said The Undertaker's not. Or said the Undertaker is going to be on SmackDown tomorrow night. So you had Austin on Raw, Taker on SmackDown. You still have AJ Styles in the ring, and he faces Cedric Alexander next. Alexander comes out, so this is a continuation. This whole segment went on for a while. They had a decent matchup here, but Gallows Anderson got involved. It's a DQ, and then as they're beating up Cedric, the War Raiders make the save. They beat down the Gallows and Anderson. They celebrate. Cedric Alexander embraces them. Good segment here. I liked it. We'll see where they go from here, but I guess you'll just get a 6-minute tag probably on SmackDown. But it was fine. I guess something for the War Raiders to do. They go backstage. You see Bayley and Sasha Banks in the back. Sasha says Charlotte and Becky were mad at what happened last week, and they should be mad. Bayley says they're stronger than ever, and the two are best friends. And they look into the camera, and I guess they're a heel tag team now. There's no more Boss and Hut connection. They're a heel team. Then they go to Charlotte and Becky getting ready, getting their gear on for the match, and they both look into the camera. Becky looks mad, and both of them look really focused. I thought it was well done. Good serious look on them, because they're taking it seriously, unlike most guys who just look at this and don't even really care, but at least they take it seriously. Bray announces a new Firefly Funhouse later tonight. Roman Reigns comes out. He makes his way to the stage. He brings out a whole bunch of little kids who beat leukemia. They're from New York and New Jersey. It was a nice segment because Roman talked about it's almost been a year since he announced he had leukemia. Good segment. I don't know what's next for Roman. He's just going to keep doing that stupid Daniel Bryan storyline, but it was fine. He brought him out. It was a great moment. Nice deed by WWE to do it. I liked it. And, people say, well, they're just doing it for publicity. Philanthropy is the future of marketing. That great Stephanie McMahon quote. I look at it, yeah, it is. But you know what? It's a great moment for the kids, so, oh well. It's fine. It's not too bad. If the kids love it, they do. It's okay. Next, you have Charlotte and Becky Lynch against Sasha Banks and Bayley. So Becky's out first. Charlotte comes out next. Then you have Bayley and Sasha come out. And they start off with a brawl before the match starts, and they go to a commercial. And this is the first time I think the four horsewomen have had a match together on the main roster in quite some time. Have they ever had a match with the four of them in the same ring together? I'm not sure on the main roster. They had that Fatal 4-Way in NXT a few years back. I remember that, but I don't think they've ever had a match, the four of them in the ring together. Maybe not. I don't think so. But you know what? This is too early to tell. It's not going to happen. I think it's going to be Becky Lynch and Nia Jax at WrestleMania. I think that's where they're going. But if I'm going to pitch it to WWE, this is the match to do. Fatal 4-Way, four horsewoman match for one of the titles. That's what you do. It doesn't have to be the main event again. It could be. If they have nothing else, that'd be a fine main event. I don't have a problem with the woman main eventing WrestleMania 2 years in a row, because if that's the best match. But that's what they should do. Just go with the four horsewoman Fatal 4-Way match at WrestleMania. And when we get back, Sasha is playing the cowardly heel, avoiding Becky. You have Bayley and Becky battle on. This was a very good match. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought they had a hell of a matchup here. Went on. They had a lot of time. They all worked very hard. Bayley and Sasha are clearly the heels here. Bayley battles with Becky. And I think Bayley's clearly a heel. She's not a tweener anymore. She's heel. Charlotte's probably a face down. Sasha's definitely heel. And obviously Becky's the top baby face. They have a good back and forth with Sasha and Charlotte. That was cool to see them battle. They did it too much. They overdid it a few years ago, but it was nice to see them back in the ring. They had a good back and forth here. Sasha looks really good now. She's back. Becky did very good here as well. She gave Sasha a really sick Beck exploder in the match. Bayley did well. I thought Charlotte had the worst showing here. I don't know. Something was off about Charlotte. She messed up two really bad moves. She had a horrible big move that missed Sasha's head by 10 miles. And she had moots on Beck and Bayley, and she lands on her feet and doesn't even touch Bayley. I don't know. I thought she was a little bit off tonight. But there's a cool segment part where Charlotte has Sasha in the figure eight. She bridges up, and then Becky goes for a disarmer on Bayley to finish the match. But Bayley goes for a roll-up, and she accidentally hits Becky into Charlotte, and Charlotte has to loses the submission on Sasha. Eventually, you have Becky on the outside. Sasha is on the apron. Charlotte goes to attack Bayley. Sasha gets in her way. She gets thrown to the out. Sasha's out. Bayley goes for a roll-up. Charlotte kicks out. Then Charlotte hits the natural selection. Charlotte pins Bayley. 1, 2, 3. Charlotte with the victory. Wow, big surprise here. Surprised they pinned Bayley, but you know what? Bayley's for sure beating Charlotte at the pay-per-view. I think that's almost a guarantee now. But a hell of a tag match. I love seeing the four horsewomen in the same ring together. WWE, please give us Fatal 4-Way, four horsewomen match at WrestleMania 36. That's what we need. Make it the main event again if you want. I have no problem with that. I want to see that match at WrestleMania. Four horsewomen, Fatal 4-Way. They show what happened earlier in the show with Austin and AJ. They show the club backstage are being interviewed by Sarah Scriber. They show Ziggler and Rude interrupt them, and AJ and Dolph shake hands. Rey Mysterio beat Grand Metalik. Not much here. They embraced after the match. They show Rollins, Strowman, and Cedric Alexander talking in the back. You have a big multi-man match. You have Street Profits in the back. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Angela loves Sasha. They praise her. They talk about the Street Profits are boring. They're just so boring. There's nothing to them. Max is the shittiest part of the show. I mean, I was enjoying Raw a lot. I love the Austin segment. He had two great things. The opening segment with Steve Austin was great, and then the tag team women's match was a damn good match. I love that tag match. Got two This Is Awesome chants. And then the show falls off a cliff because they have to have Baron Corbin win a fucking King of the Ring semifinals triple threat match over Samoa Joe and Ricochet, for fuck's sakes. Joe and Ricochet both lose to Baron fucking Corbin. Baron Corbin's going to be King of the Ring. It's obvious he's going to get it. I think if you don't think Corbin's going to get it, you're a fucking idiot. Or oblivious. They're going to give it to Baron Corbin. He ends the match. He basically has Joe's down. Ricochet hits a 630 splash. Corbin throws Ricochet off and pins Joe. Samoa Joe loses to Ricochet. A joke of a match. Fuck this trash. It was fucking bullshit. Fuck that. You had Lacey Evans come out. She has a match with Natalya, and Natalya wins. No one cares about this feud. Let's just end this. They show earlier in the show, what happened with Enes Kanter and R-Truth. It was kind of funny. Enes Kanter is a center in the NBA. He comes in, he basically gives R-Truth a face slam, pins him, wins a 24/7 title, and R-Truth quickly rolls up Enes. 1, 2, 3. R-Truth gets it back. This was a fun segment. We had Charlie Caruso in the ring actually interviewing Enes first. And I guess Enes left the Knicks for the Celtics, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a fun segment. I thought it was actually pretty entertaining. They should have left it on. They should have just allowed it to air. I don't know why they did it. Next, Firefly Funhouse. This was a fun segment. Good. Brady does really well here. I enjoyed it. Another entertaining one. They did the whole thing with the clock. Brady's easily one of the best things on TV right now. It was a fine segment. Did well here. And he basically teases Strowman and Rollins. I think that match is going to end in a double DQ. I think Brady comes out and it probably sets up a triple threat at Hell in a Cell. I don't think they're going to beat Strowman. They're not going to beat Rollins. They just had him beat Lesnar again. They're going to give him a decent reign this time. I think it's going to end with Bray interfering and sets up a triple threat Hell in a Cell match. That's my prediction. Main event time. You have a random 10-man tag no one really cares about. You have Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, Eric, Ivar, and Cedric Alexander against Luke Gallows, AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, Robert Roode, and Dolph Ziggler. A random big multi-man match to end MSG. And how this match ends is, in the end, Styles and Alexander are in the ring together. AJ goes for a phenomenal form, but Cedric Alexander avoids it. He hits the lumbar check. 1, 2, 3. Cedric Alexander pins AJ Styles cleanly in the middle of the ring. Sets up a U.S. title match for Clash of Champions. He gets the win. And in the end, you have Cedric, Ivar, Eric, Seth, and Braun with the win. After the match, Stone Cold Steve Austin comes back to the ring. He gets some more beers for himself and his new friends, and they celebrate in the ring. They drink beers. Austin's music plays. That's it for Raw and MSG. Entertaining show for the most part. The beginning was great. The women's tag team match was damn good. Main event segment ended up good. Just the whole King of the Ring shit just kind of pissed me off. But overall, I thought it was a decent show.